Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop, and today I'm here with a review of the newest movie that is slinging into theaters this weekend. That's right, Spider-Man is back on the big screen, but this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe version, which I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see Spider-Man in with all the big names like Captain America, Iron Man, like we saw in Civil War. Well, what happens next? We're gonna find out, because my review of the 2017 action film Spider-Man Homecoming, coming up now. After helping Tony Stark in his battle against Captain America, Peter Parker returns home to Queens with his new Spider-Man suit. The only problem is, he doesn't have a whole lot to do while waiting to hear from Stark for his next mission. Soon Peter finds a group of arms traffickers selling Chitauri weaponry, headed by Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture. Peter must try to stop the Vulture as well as try to deal with the normal problems of a high school student. So what did I think of Spider-Man Homecoming? I thought it's a fantastic action film. Well, we've certainly had our share of Spider-Man movies in the past few years, and this is the third attempt at the hero. This is certainly one of the best. The movie picks up right after the events of Civil War, and we get a very humorous look back at the events from Peter's perspective. I like that the film takes for granted that we know Peter's backstory already, and we don't have to go through the whole being bitten by a spider scene, which is mentioned at least, or the death of Uncle Ben, who actually isn't mentioned but alluded to. The action sequences here are awesome, from a rescue at the Washington Monument to helping out passengers on the Staten Island ferry, and of course the final battle with the Vulture in the air. The film definitely has a good sense of humor, and I found myself laughing quite often. Definitely more than most of the comedies, or so-called comedies, that were released this year. I really like the fact that we get to see Peter wanting to do things with his friends and even possible love interest, but his personal life takes a back seat and he puts his spider duties first when the situations arise, even if it makes him look like a jerk or gets him in trouble. We do get to see some of Peter's social life, like hanging out with his best friend, trying to romance his crush, and attending the homecoming dance, which really reminded me of the classic 80s teen films, in a good way. Peter also tries hard to impress Tony Stark, who appears just the right amount in the film as Peter's mentor. The Marvel Cinematic Universe gets criticism here and there for a good number of their villains, but the Vulture is easily one of the better ones we've seen portrayed in the universe. I really enjoyed that he gets more of a story, and we can kind of feel for the character. The movie has a lot of fun surprises and gives us a tease of some of the characters and supporting villains that might be popping up in the future. I love the soundtrack as well, which has everything from the Ramones to A Flock of Seagulls. Tom Holland reprises his role as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, the 15-year-old who received spider-like abilities after being bitten by a radioactive spider who patrols the streets of Queens, with Holland giving us another terrific portrayal of the character. Also in the cast, Michael Keaton, who's also spectacular, as Adrian Toomes / the Vulture, the former owner of a salvage company who turns to arms trafficking when the company goes out of business and he begins to tire of Spider-Man trying to stop his dealings. Robert Downey Jr. is back as Tony Stark, the Avenger who looks after Peter and becomes his mentor. Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, the former head of security at Stark Industries who Peter keeps trying to get in touch with. Marissa Tomei as May Parker, Peter's aunt who's worried with what's going on in his life. Jacob Batalon as Ned, Peter's best friend who ends up helping him out with his Spider-Man activities. Laura Harrier as Liz, a senior who Peter has a crush on. And Zendaya as Michelle, one of Parker's classmates who has an interest in him. Spider-Man Homecoming is a highly entertaining entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I can't wait to see what awaits the web slinger next. I'm gonna give it the rating of A-list approved. That's right, it gets the A-list seal of approval. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. You can like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WestAlist. Until next time, Troop out.